Hey everyone and welcome. Today we're diving into a topic that hits close to home for many, something that can leave deep spiritual wounds, church hurt, we're calling it, and specifically how it impacts Black women. We're not just talking about a little disappointment here. This is about how systems meant to uplift can actually cause harm.
It's way deeper than just a bad experience on Sunday, right?
Exactly. To help us unpack this, we're turning to the Melanated Goddess Circle, an organization doing some really powerful work around helping Black women heal and reclaim their spiritual power.
Because let's be real, it's not just about a bad day or a disagreement. It's about something much bigger.
You got it.
Well,
So how would you define church hurt? What are we really talking about here?
Well, imagine this. You're seeking solace and guidance, but the very structure you're turning to has historically been used to silence your ancestors and dismiss their spiritual practices. Talk about a painful legacy to carry. It's like a spiritual betrayal almost.
Oh, absolutely. You're told to seek comfort in your faith, but that same faith has been used as a tool of oppression. It's heavy stuff.
It is, and for Black women, this church hurt is deeply rooted in the way Christianity was used during slavery. We're talking about stripping away cultural practices and imposing a Eurocentric, patriarchal view of spirituality.
So it's not just about converting to a new faith. It's about being forced to abandon your own spiritual heritage.
Yes, and feeling cut off from your roots, your ancestors, your own innate spirituality. It's like this feeling of being spiritually homeless, you know? You're searching for belonging, but the place you're supposed to find, it feels more like a source of pain.
That term really hit me, spiritually homeless. You're searching for that grounding, that connection, but the very place that's supposed to provide it has become a source of pain. No wonder so many Black women are left questioning their worth, their spiritual power, even their place within religious structures.
It's incredibly isolating, and it can leave you feeling lost and disillusioned. You start to doubt your own intuition, your connection to something bigger than yourself.
And to add another layer of complexity, the Melanated Goddess Circle points out that these patterns of suppression, this spiritual disconnect, it can be passed down through families, almost like an echo across generations.
Generational trauma, right. We're talking about wounds that keep impacting future generations.
Exactly. So how do we even begin to heal from something so deeply ingrained, so woven into the fabric of our families and communities?
Well, awareness is always a powerful first step.
Like shining a light on those things that have been hidden in the shadows for so long.
Exactly. By understanding the roots of this hurt, by seeing how these patriarchal structures are still impacting Black women's spirituality, we can start to dismantle them from the inside out.
It's like we're told to fit into a box that wasn't made for us, and then we're blamed for not fitting.
And often the very gifts, the natural spiritual gifts that Black women possess, things like intuition, healing, prophecy, these are labeled as evil or wrong within traditional teachings. It's like suppressing the divine feminine, wouldn't you say?
It's almost like we're told to shrink ourselves, to silence those parts of ourselves that are most powerful. These qualities, intuition, deep feeling sensitivity, they're often dismissed or even demonized, and that leads to so much shame and self-doubt.
It's like we're told to turn away from those very things that make us powerful.
So how do we begin to heal from that? How do we reclaim those parts of ourselves that we've been taught to hide?
Well, the Melanated Goddess Circle reminds us that healing is possible. It starts by recognizing that those gifts, those intuitive abilities, those deep connections to spirit, those are not weaknesses.
They're our birthright.
Exactly. They are the source of our power. And instead of seeing them as something to be ashamed of, what if we embraced them? What if we saw them as the tools our ancestors used to survive and thrive?
It's about tapping into that ancestral strength, that lineage of powerful women who came before us.
Yes. It's about recognizing that we don't have to fit into a box defined by someone else's rules. Spirituality isn't one size fits all.
It's about creating a spiritual practice that truly reflects who you are and what you believe.
It's about giving yourself permission to explore different paths, to connect with ancestral wisdom, and to define spirituality on your own terms.
It's about owning your spirituality, not just inheriting it.
The Melanated Goddess Circle calls it awakening your divine feminine. It's about tapping into that well of intuition, creativity, and nurturing energy that exists within each of us.
That term divine feminine, it's so powerful. It's about reclaiming both your Blackness and your femininity as sources of strength and divinity.
And recognizing that your very being as a Black woman is sacred, that within you lies this well of resilience, wisdom, and spiritual power that can't be silenced or suppressed.
It's like you were saying earlier, we already have everything we need within us.
We do. It's about remembering who we are.
So we've talked about the hurt, the historical context, the impact of these patriarchal structures,
Yeah.
and the importance of reclaiming our spiritual power. But what does that actually look like in our everyday lives? How do we take these big concepts and turn them into action?
Well, one powerful tool that the Melanated Goddess Circle talks about is shadow work.
Shadow work. What is that?
It sounds kind of mysterious, right? But it's actually very simple. It's the practice of looking inward honestly and compassionately at the parts of ourselves we tend to hide, our fears, our insecurities, the past wounds that we still carry.
It's like befriending the parts of ourselves we've been taught to reject.
Exactly. And often in those hidden places, we find incredible strength and wisdom. Alongside shadow work, forgiveness is also crucial.
Forgiveness can be tough, though. Does it mean condoning what happened, saying that it was okay?
No, not at all. Forgiveness doesn't mean saying that what happened was okay. It's about releasing the grip that anger and resentment might have on you. It's about choosing to move forward from a place of empowerment, not victimhood.
It's like that saying, holding on to anger is like drinking poison and expecting the other person to die.
You got it. It keeps us tethered to the very things that hurt us. Forgiveness is about setting yourself free.
And it's not something you have to do perfectly or all at once, right?
Exactly. It's a journey, and some days will be easier than others. The important thing is to keep choosing yourself, your healing again and again.
And you don't have to do it alone.
That's right. The Melanated Goddess Circle really emphasizes finding safe spaces, communities where you can connect with other Black women, share your experiences, reclaim your spirituality together.
There's so much power in shared experience,
Yeah,
in knowing that you're not alone.
absolutely. And that your story matters.
It makes me think of this broader movement of Black women reclaiming their time, their voices, their stories. It feels connected to that same energy. It's about recognizing that our stories are connected, that our healing is collective.
It is. It's a collective rising,
Yeah.
a reclaiming of our narratives, our power, our spiritual autonomy. And you know what's amazing?
What's that?
When you step into that power, it creates ripples. It impacts not just you, but the people around you.
That's like this ripple effect of healing and empowerment.
Exactly.
So how does that reclaiming actually show up in everyday life? Like, what are some practical ways we can tap into that power?
Well, think about a time you had a gut feeling about something. You know, that deep inner knowing.
Oh, yeah.
But you ignored it. Maybe because it didn't fit with what you'd been taught or what others expected of you.
We've all been there.
That's your intuition, your inner compass trying to guide you.
And we're often taught to silence that voice, aren't we? Like, don't be too sensitive. Don't be too emotional.
Yes. We're told to doubt ourselves, to second guess our own instincts.
Yeah.
But reclaiming your spiritual power well, it means learning to trust that voice again.
It's about recognizing that we already possess so much wisdom within.
Absolutely. You have a deep well of wisdom inside you, this connection to something bigger. And it's always there, guiding you towards a more fulfilling and authentic life.
It's like we become our own spiritual authority. We stop looking for validation from outside sources, and instead, we find it within.
Yes, and from that place of inner knowing, you can make choices that are aligned with your highest good. It gives you permission to set boundaries, to walk away from things that no longer serve you, and to create a life that feels aligned with your soul's purpose.
It's about living in alignment, right? Where our actions, our beliefs, our choices, all of it is in harmony with our true selves.
And that is a recipe for true healing and liberation. Because when you heal yourself, you're not just healing your own wounds.
You're healing generations.
Yes, the generations that came before you. And you're paving the way for the generations to come. It's powerful stuff.
It's beautiful. So as we wrap up this incredible deep dive, is there anything else you want to leave our listeners with? Anything you want them to remember as they continue on their own journeys?
Just this. The things you may have been taught to suppress, those are not weaknesses. Your intuition, your sensitivity, your connection to something bigger, those are your strengths.
They are.
Embrace them, nurture them, and then watch as they guide you towards your most authentic and empowered self.
That is such a powerful message. Thank you so much for sharing your wisdom with us today.
It was my pleasure.
And to everyone listening, if this conversation resonated with you, we encourage you to check out the Melanated Goddess Circle. They have a wealth of resources to support you on your journey. Until next time, remember, your power is real, your voice matters, and your healing is a gift to yourself and to the world.